Chips Anarka Akaza back at you with the Republicats, the founders of the Republicats. So, Renmin Wendy, how are you doing today?
Good.
Or technically it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so it's fine. Beautiful show you had tonight. So,
Thanks, man.
tell me, what is the story of the Republicats from start to now? Or a
Yeah.
synopsis, essentially.
Okay, so the Republicats was an offshoot from our band called Republica Delata. So Republica Delata was Wendy's band in
2007.
2007. Yeah, and then when Ago Agimat was in indefinite hiatus in 2007, they got me to fill in for drums. So I learned their songs and performed with them in the first underground punk gig that I've ever played at in Timog. So I totally enjoyed that show, and that is the moment I realized that I love the scene. So this is what I wanna do. This is
And you are one hell of a drummer.
Thanks, man. So cause from 1993 I've been playing mostly in mainstream. They call mainstream. So yeah.
I was born in 93.
So yeah. And then the first time I played in an underground punk show was with Republica Delata when they got me to play drums. So yeah, that's it. And then we did Republica Delata for a few years. Well, eventually they got me as their permanent drummer, and then we decided to move on. So we got two new bandmates. And then we renamed the band to the Republicats. We just maintained the Republica.
What's
Yes.
Delata mean?
Delata is Republica Delata is canned republic. So Republica is republic, you know that, right? So Delata is canned,
Oh, nice.
like the canned goods.
Oh.
Delata. Yeah, so it's a republic, canned republic. So. And then we just maintain the Republica because we are in the Republic of the Philippines.
Boy!
Yeah, boy. So that name actually stuck to the guys that follow us from Republica Delata. So we wanted to maintain that word Republica. And during the time we were into rockabilly. Imelda May and those stuff, Stray Cats. So at first we wanted to do a rockabilly band, so we named it the Republicats. And both of us love cats. We actually, when we were younger, when we see a stray cat, we usually take it home.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So me, I had one cat that I found in the streets, a kitten, and then I brought it home.
That's wonderful.
From that one kitten, it became 15 cats from that one kitten.
Shit.
So and also I learned Wendy's also like that when she was younger, and she used to get stray cats in the street, yeah, and then bring it home. So we name it the Republicats.
I love that.
This is actually our logo. The cat.
Same here.
Yeah.
I need to get one of them before I leave this country.
This one is the logo of Republica Delata.
So we have the same tattoo. Identical tattoo.
Yeah.
I need to get one of those before I leave the Philippines,
Yeah.
just so I can be marked.
Oh yeah.
I need the mark of the cat.
So this is this one, the Republicats, because it's a black cat. Because for me, black cat is not bad luck for me. It actually is good luck for me. The
It's
black
done
cat.
by
Regular gun.
Yeah, I was about to say who designed it.
One of the best tattoo artists in the Philippines, Tupe Gilargan. He's a close friend, and he's also a painter. He's the one who designed our logo. We just told him what we want. So yeah, this black and white represents obviously ska, which we love.
Two-tone.
Yeah, two-tone, and also the skull we're representing punk for me. That's what I see punk. Skull. Whenever I think of punk, I think of skulls. I don't know why. So that's it. This is the logo of the Republicats. Punk ska.
Who designed the other one?
This one, Republica Delata. Our good friend also, one of the best tattoo artists also, and painter artist, Jaime Tud, did this. This is actually our first ever tattoo. Both of us, we weren't lovers yet during that time. We were just bandmates, and we decided to get the same tattoo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is the first tattoo. Actually, if you try to look for an old 1 peso coin, Filipino coin, 1 peso, the big one, this is what you'll see. This is our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal,
Oh my God,
on
really?
the 1 peso bill, and then we said we wanted him to be Mohawk.
That is amazing,
So,
man.
it's a national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, and made it to punk. Put a Mohawk on him, and that's it.
What circuit coin would that be? Because I've got a couple of
like,
them.
it's a coin like 60s, 70s
Marcos
coin.
era.
Yeah, Marcos era, or maybe before, I think.
My father-in-law. The reason I
It's
ask
a
is
big, it's a big coin. It's a big coin.
it's a 1 peso coin.
1 peso coin, and it has Jose Rizal, Dr. Jose Rizal.
We can show it to you later.
Yeah.
My fa-
Actually, you can Google it.
Well, I'm saying because my father-in-law, before he passed away in 2019, he gave me two 5 peso coins from the Marcos era. From,
Yeah. It has
yeah, it's like huge.
Marcos on it, yeah? The
I-
5 peso coin?
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow.
I think that coin is bigger than the 1 peso coin.
Yeah, I got that in a safe back in Canada. So, what are your influences?
Me personally, my influence, foreign, I listen to a lot of the Clash, the Ramones, and
You
went
do a
to
good job covering them too.
yeah, and Rancid. So those are the 3 major influence that I have for punk. And then I listen to Bob Marley for reggae, and then I listen to
Yeah, man.
Two-Tone, Madness, Selectors, The Specials, and all those great bands, the Two-Tone. And then now I'm listening to Anti-Flag.
Anti-flag.
I just recently discovered that
Yeah.
band, and yeah,
They
their
hit a
lyrics
pro
are
war
good.
with the
Lyrics are
U.S.
good, man.
politics.
Yeah, Anti-Flag, and also a few, a little bit Pennywise, just recently. And actually, I learned a lot of bands from the US from Wendy. That is actually why we put up the Punk Connection, our radio show. If you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I follow it regularly.
Yeah, because before that show, or when we're at home, she's just telling me stories about the great bands that she listens to. She has a lot of influence, and she talks a lot about. She's like a walking punk encyclopedia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Much respect, Wendy.
Yeah, that's why I said, oh, why don't we put up a radio show and bring punk rock, hardcore, ska to a lot of audience, to a bigger audience. So that's why we put up the show.
I was gonna ask him. So I was gonna ask if you could tell me the story of how the punk connection became a
Yeah,
thing.
sure. Yeah, but before that, Wendy's influence.
My biggest influence, of course, Descendants. Because my first band ever was in 1987, and we do
Was it
Descendants cover.
Was it TRC affiliated?
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Actually, I wasn't able to record a song during that time. It's just we're playing all Descendants songs. That's it.
that's awesome though.
My first recorded, actually it's not my song, but I was included in the album that was in 1989. The title of the album is Karapatang Pantao, so that was my first recording.
Karapatang Pantao means human rights. There's this compilation album that was released in 1989. It's called Karapatang Pantao, Human Rights, to celebrate human rights in the Philippines. And Wendy sang in one of the songs of The Woods.
Woods.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
A song?
Yeah, Me in the Middle.
Me in the Middle.
So the title of the song is Me in the Middle.
So she was the one singing, and if you can research that, Karapatang Pantao, 1989, The Woods, Me in the Middle, that's Wendy singing. So,
It's a compilation album.
compilation of a lot of Filipino bands during that time.
Wow.
You have Joy Ayala, Local Brown.
Oh my God, Sequoia Pure's old
Yeah,
band.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Pura, yeah.
Wow, you go deep into the
Woods
Pinoy
was there,
scene.
The Next is there, and a lot of great Filipino bands, senior bands.
Wow, so you go far back.
Idols. Yeah.
Wowzers.
Yeah, Wendy was part of that compilation album. Yeah, I was in high school when I bought it's actually a double cassette album. So I actually bought a copy of that album. I didn't know I was gonna be with the singer of one of the songs.
You were the superstar.
Yeah.
So how did the punk connection come to be, and like, what's the story of that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because when Wendy and I were already together, so at home she used to talk about her experiences in the punk scene since '87 until now. Yeah.
We hear ya.
Yeah. So yeah, she used to talk a lot of stories about gigs, about bands, all those stuff, and also foreign bands that I've never heard of. And so I said, oh, why don't we put up a radio show? I have a friend who is a station manager in an FM radio station, Jamil 8.3. So I contacted him. His name is Eric Perpetua. So, and then he told us to come over to his house and have dinner and discuss plans. So Wendy cooked mushroom,
I was about to ask what you
garlic
cook.
mushroom, because she's a vegetarian. So
Respect there.
Yeah.
Respect. I'm trying to be one.
so yeah, that's where we talked about the radio show, and then good thing he's also into punk. He also listens to Descendants, so that's why hell
He
yeah.
gave me
Two
two
CDs.
CDs of Descendants.
Yeah.
When I met Milo Ackerman in person, I know I
Yeah.
sent you a picture of that.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you that story quickly. So I'm in Lawrence, Kansas, which is my hometown,
Lucky guy.
and
You're lucky.
I about had a fucking heart attack because I got off my DoorDash shift. DoorDash is like Grab, and I'm walking up the street. I know they're playing because I went to see them. I saw two RVs sitting there. I was like, oh, interesting. I heard some chatter. I was like, no. I just crept around the corner. I was like, oh, no fucking way. I just quietly crept. I was like, are you my little Aka? He's like, yeah. I was like, I almost fucking puked. I was like, and something to my friends like, you should have interviewed him. I'm like, my brain broke. The fucking only thing I can say is, can I get a picture with you? Oh my god! Like, yeah, he was holding up some little e-bike
I saw your
and shit.
picture with mine.
Yeah, I'm like, my buddy was like, you should have fucking interviewed him. You know, blowing up. I'm like, dude, my brain was like,
Paused. Your brain paused.
like, that's a fucking icon right there. It's like, holy shit. I mean, yeah, I kind of regret not asking him a few questions, but I was like, that's starstruck right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just randomly walk upon Milo Ackerman in person like that, but he just got off a bike ride. But continue what you were saying though.
Yeah. So Descendants is one of Wendy's
Just one of my
Major-
influences.
major-
I also listen to Circle Jerks, Ramones,
Ramones.
Agnostic Front,
Yeah.
BRI.
Dirty about it.
Yes, BRI. And Dead Kennedys. And a lot more. But,
Yeah. So after that dinner, our friend Eric, station manager, said, come to office after a week and do a presentation. So I prepared the presentation. I made some graphics. I had it printed on a cardboard paper and brought in a Bluetooth speaker. in his office. So while we were talking about, while I was, we were presenting the concept of the punk connection. We played we played some tracks from Ramones. So just to set the mood. And that moment, he approved it. He approved the show.
That's
And then he
awesome.
said, when are you guys gonna start? You can start anytime you want.
Were you at all worried? Because so from a foreigner's perspective, I was told this country is extremely conservative, which I don't really see that. But I mean, conservative from the American standpoint's a lot different. But were you worried that that punk music wasn't gonna groove well with the mainstream Philippine society, or like was that a concern at all here?
Me personally, I was not worried about that because I learned from the stories that Wendy told me that in the late 80s and early 90s, punk was really big in the Philippines, especially in Manila. It's really huge. She said that they used to fill up like gym with all these punk kids, basketball courts with full of punk kids. So punk was really big in the Philippines, especially in Manila. I was not worried because if there's gonna be a radio show for these guys who were kids back then, so now they're like adults and parents now, so they're gonna be loving hearing those songs that they used to listen to before. So we were actually excited.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So Disconnected, is this your first album?
Yeah, Disconnected is our first album, and yeah, we released it a few years back.
2018.
Yeah, but we are currently working on the second album, and definitely we're gonna release it this year. Because last year was our 10th anniversary. We wanted to release it on the 10th anniversary, the second album, but unfortunately we had this pandemic.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, stand by. When are we gonna have a gig?
Just
So-
two more songs.
Two more songs?
Yeah,
songs
two
and
more
we're good to
songs.
go and record the stuff. Yeah.
Actually, we
and
have
roll.
recorded some of the songs already. And
We already did like pre-production for some of the songs we recorded, like demo, but we're gonna re-record them. Yeah.
One thing I love about your band, especially Disconnected, is I love so from a foreigner's perspective, when I listen to bands from a different country, I love it when they do songs in their native tongue, and I love that you do some English, but you also do some Tagalog.
Yep.
And I know I asked you in the first interview, Pam Pam Pam, what's that track about? I just Pam 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 Pam. It's catchy. I love it.
yeah,
What's it about though?
It's like attention seeker,
Yeah.
right? Attention seeker.
Attention seeker.
Yeah.
Those.
Like in a crowd, there's always like an attention seeker person there who's really loud, laughs out loud. Yeah, and those guys who are seeking attention always. They do crazy stuff to get the attention of others.
Yeah.
So that's what Papampam is all about.
Hey. For outsiders who are watching this, I'm from a first world country. What is it like growing up in the Philippines, aside the music? Like, as you said, hold on, because that's kind of what I got from that track. Is obviously the Philippines is a third world country with third world struggles. Like, what are some of the hardest things that you both had to deal with growing up, and that you see even the the young generations growing up, and what are some things that you'd like to see change in this country, or that you do see changing in this country?
Regarding the first question about like struggles growing up, me personally, I wasn't aware of any like those stuff because in our family we were brought up like we just go to school, just study hard and do good in school and do sports. So we grew up like that. We were not rich. We were just middle class.
Just average,
Just average middle class, and my parents were struggling. Like my dad has two jobs. He's a professor in during the daytime and also a vocalist of a band during the nighttime. And my mom works in an NGO, a non-government organization for women's rights. So
that.
yeah, so we grew up in that setup. So as kids, we just go to school, play basketball. We don't think about those struggles. But growing up, on your second question, that what you want to change in society, because growing up, we were brought up in a family wherein we had a lot of family members that are activists during the martial law era, and so we learn a lot about social problems, social issues, young when we were still young. So growing up, we experienced that. Being in a third world country, you can really feel the corruption. You can see the corruption.
I can feel it even as an
Yeah.
outsider.
So maybe that is the number one, that there's something that we need to change um, for us to have a better life. It's the corruption, because I think the Philippines, even though we are a third world country, we have. I think our country has a lot of money
Yeah.
to spend for good education, for better hospitals, for better schools, for all those stuff that people need. I think we have a lot of um, means to have healthy food for everyone to share. But because of corruption, that's where the problem comes in.
I completely.
So the wealth of the nation is actually being used up by a few of the
Yeah.
population.
And then I just feel, I mean, there's a lot of countries, especially in this part of the world, including my very own country,
Yeah.
that it's just like that. Politicians are evil. That's just,
Yep.
that just boils down to
Yeah.
it.
So in that sense, you being in a first world country and us being in a third country, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same. We share the same
I'm broke as
major
shit.
problem. Yeah.
Yes, and in regards to the second album, I know you said you're almost finished with it. Can you tell us about the second album? How much different is Republicats #2 album going to be from the first album?
We wanted it to be like heavier musically, heavier than the first album. Definitely, there's still gonna be punk ska, but we are experimenting on a heavier punk ska.
Thrash, maybe?
La-
Because Prison House is kind of it sounds like thrash metal.
yeah, we're actually experimenting on that.
That's awesome.
The music, heavier music. So yeah, the ska maybe like ska core sounding. So that's where we're going. But since we haven't recorded the album yet, it is just like the concept that we want it to be heavier. Even the ska songs want it heavier, and we wanted to bring in heavy music like thrash.
That sounds like an awesome
So-
project. I can't wait to hear this shit.
Yeah, so that's the direction. So, but we will hear it once we've already recorded it. So, hopefully,
You have the copy of the first album, right? You already have the copy
Digital.
of the first album.
digital.
I can't.
Digital?
I've
You
never.
don't have the physical CD.
Nope. I've never been able to get one.
You did a review, right?
Yeah, I did a review of it. I review of the digital version, not the physical though. I want a physical so badly.
Yeah, we'll try to look
Don't
for
worry.
one for
Yeah,
you.
we'll give you the first album. And the
I'm
second
spoiled.
Yeah. And even though if we can find the from the first batch, we are planning actually to
Yeah, that's what Wendy
reissue-
was saying earlier.
Yeah, we're planning to reissue that first album when the second album comes out, so that you can get the first and the second album.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that so
Because
much.
a lot of a lot of people are sending us messages requesting for the first album.
Yes,
And,
connected. Since you two are the founders of Punk Connection, can you tell me your story of the TRC 18?
Yeah, we had on our 7th episode, if I'm not mistaken.
And there is a video of this on their Facebook page.
Oh,
DRC 18!
July 23, 2016.
Yes!
You heard it right here.
We had Tommy Tanchanko, who is considered as like the founder of Pinoy, Philippine punk.
I was
They're
gonna say,
saying
it's-
that he's the one that brought punk music here, and
Well, if you ask Delilah Aguilar, it was Howlin' Dave who
yeah,
brought
it's actually debatable, but I'm not debating
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
That's what they say. So
During the interview.
during the interview, so when we had Tommy in the show, so he talked about how he discovered punk and how he brought punk here, and how he was instrumental in bringing punk to mainstream music, mainstream ears through the radio. So, and then the interview went towards TRC.
Twisted Red Cross.
Yeah, Twisted Red Cross, because he was the one who produced the Twisted Red Cross series, right? And then we just joked, said, when would be the next TRC? Because TRC stopped 89.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Philippines, where do we
Yeah,
go from here?
that was the last one, and then nothing follows. So we just joked, when will be the next TRC?
18.
18. And he said, okay, let's do it. If you guys are up to it, let's do it. And then off the air, we talked about it, and he said, if you guys are gonna be helping me do the legwork, because he's too busy.
I own that CD.
Yeah, Tommy said he's too busy, and he also lost track of the new bands. So he said, since you guys are in the know of who's playing right now, and he said, if you guys can help me, then let's release TRC 18.
Us and Sir Aldo
Alden
Malanta.
Alanta. And then
Love you, Al.
We
Yeah,
scheduled
and then we scheduled a meeting in Eastwood in a coffee shop, Coffee Beans and Tea Leaf, I think. Yeah, that was the name of the coffee shop. So we had a meeting, and we finalized the details, how many bands, and we said we're gonna submit a list of bands for your approval.
he was the one.
Yeah, all everything that went to the TRC 18, from the choosing of the bands to approving them, and also the design and everything.
The
The
cover,
cover,
the name of the album.
yeah, it was Tommy who
They were
the last say. We were just like giving him the options.
Just essentially, you were the you're heavily into the scene now,
Yeah.
so you have the connections
Yeah.
that he doesn't have anymore. Because
Yeah.
What's he have? 12 Stone Records now, right?
Yeah, 12 Stone Record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we presented the list of bands, and
he
also
made a contract.
the songs, and
Rest in peace, Mel Maniego.
Sir Mel was with that, is also included in that album. So then he approved the lineup, he approved the songs, and then he drafted a contract, and we had the band signed, all the bands signed the contract.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it was really a legit for us, because we were
It was
there.
absolutely.
It was a legit
no one
TRC,
says.
because from the
And
start.
Tommy is included in the album together with
With
the
his
band.
Absolute play.
Yeah, with his kids.
Yes.
So
Absolute play.
Yeah,
The
so-
youngest punk
yeah.
band in the Philippines. Absolutely.
we don't know why some people were.
I was gonna ask. To be honest, I was gonna ask why did the Jerry Springer show happen? Or the
Yeah.
drama happen?
Yeah, that's
Aldo Malanta said because some people who didn't make the cut just get a little jelly that they don't make the cut. And I guess we can leave it at that without making
yeah,
this
you can
to a
leave it
drama
at that,
fest.
but that is the truth, I think, and we also believe that, because all of us know the truth. We were there. All of us were there. It's not just like me and just Tommy, or
Yeah.
it was Wendy, me.
There's a literal
Tommy,
video of it
Sir
on your
Al,
Facebook.
and Ivy was there. So everybody, and all those that listened to that interview, wherein Tommy definitely said, okay, let's release TRC 18. So
I can't understand Tagalog, but I listened to it with my wife, and even she confirmed that. So
Yeah.
it's like, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, mister, you know who you are. Shut the fuck up.
yeah, so people try to bring it down, and people try to discredit. People tried to discredit that TRC release, saying that it's not a legit TRC release. So TRC was just until 17, and TRC 18 is
Well,
non-existent. Yeah.
You have like a good chunk of the original
Yeah.
TRC crew
Yeah.
on that album, so.
Yeah, man.
And I own the CD. It's fucking amazing. You guys did a
Yeah.
fantastic job of mastering that shit. And
So when those people question the legitimacy of TRC 18, we talked to Tony, and he even said that we can arrange an interview. We can arrange an interview with him to clear everything because he knows from the start that
He knows
he's
the
with
truth.
us.
Yeah, of
He's with
course.
us, and that TRC 18 is legit.
Yeah, I was with him on the phone, and he said, if you guys want, let's do an interview, and I'll clear your name, I'll clear everything, I'll
Was
say.
he surprised that he even needed to do that? Or
Yeah. And we decided to not do it because we said just
Just
let's
fuck
just
it.
drop
Make
it.
our
Yeah,
own,
it's
compilation
not
album.
worth the time and effort and the stress.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We did all our best to help the scene.
and this is what we get, and we were not even paid for everything that we did for that album. Not that we were.
And I'll
looking
even
for-
say from a foreigner's perspective on TRC 18, like from an American perspective, when you look up Philippine punk rock, usually the first thing that comes up is Twisted Red Cross. And seeing TRC 18 on there, okay, you get Absolute Play, you get Go Signals, you get a bunch of the newer bands with the older bands. So it introduces old Pinoy punk and new Pinoy punk to a new generation. So it's a fantastic piece of art. It's a masterpiece, honestly.
That is actually what we were aiming for, to get the old torchbearers, and then the new guys, and then
You did a damn good job of it.
do have a like a bridge connecting the old from and the new, so that the scene will continue. That is
Yeah.
one of our goals. Why we released that one. Why we proposed to have like maybe half old guys from the old TRC, and also half the newer guys, to have the continuity, and have the ball rolling again. So maybe we can have TRC 19,
Hell
20,
yeah.
and hell yeah, but it stopped at 18 because we.
It became 18 years old. It
For,
became
for,
an adult.
for Renmin to produce that album, he got the money from his dad. It
Yeah.
was supposed to be for Guerrilla shirt, but he stopped printing Guerrilla shirts
Just to
use the
finance.
money for producing TRC 18.
Yeah, we
So,
had our sacrifices that
I'm
people
honored
don't
to
know.
own a CD, man.
That people don't know about, but we can talk about it, but we can also not talk about it. But
Yeah.
we did a lot of sacrifice for that album. And
You did a great job.
yeah, and to only get and to get those like negative criticisms, it's not worth it.
To be completely honest
just
with you,
drop it.
because I've talked to a lot of people who have talked shit on it,
Yeah.
there's only less than a handful of
Correct.
people that I know who have, and we both know one individual who does, and he is essentially,
Yeah.
the one who does the most.
correct.
Everyone else in the Philippine punk rock scene worships that album because
Thanks,
it's Twisted Red Cross,
Yeah.
the inception of Pinoy punk.
Yeah.
So I fucking love that album. I'm shouting it out from the top of my lungs. I mean, it's the only physical CD that I have with one of your songs on it, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I need disconnected. But we're at 37 minutes here. My wife's screaming at me.
Okay. Nice to see you again, man.
Of course, is there anything else you want to add to this? Plug your social media in. Please do this.
Please like if you haven't liked our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/the Republicats. Just search the Republicats, and you can see the page with the cat logo.
The
This one.
sexy cat logo. Look
Yeah,
at that.
so that's our page. Okay, and just follow us and
You have
see you at the shows.
Spotify, Apple Music, anything?
Spotify, the album Disconnected is in Spotify,
iTunes.
and iTunes, and all those digital platforms, and also on Facebook, on YouTube. There's also videos of the Republicats. Just
live
search
performance.
live performances.
Yes. All right. Is there anything else you want to add?
Thanks so much.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
ito, isama doon sa album. Ang title nito, Disconnected. salamat po. Yan po yung dahilan kung bakit nilipat yung Foodtrick. Dahil sa ganun kayo. Joke lang. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. Enjoy lang, enjoy. Thank you.
Oh, that was awesome.